Hello, Dr. Hoover. My name is Brian Bailey, and I am doing my introduction video presentation assignment for you, which I'll be uploading here to YouTube here in just a few minutes after I present my background to you and to the fellow students. So, hello to all my fellow students and cohorts for this class. I am pleased to make your acquaintance. All right, so a little bit about myself. My name is Brian Bailey. I've been working as an education teacher, or an academic teacher and education administrator for the Department of Corrections for over 11 years. I do a little bit of everything. I'm a counselor. I teach GED, ABE classes. I'm also a certified testing administrator for TABE and GED. And I'm kind of excited because this quarter we have 25 inmates ready for the GED test in one way or another, and I'm really proud of my inmates that will be sitting down and taking parts of this exam. Working at a large men's prison outside the Tampa, St. Pete metro area, we have almost 1,600 men, some of the worst in the state of Florida, here at this prison. And we have another 400 who work at the road camp, working outside, picking up trash, cleaning highways, basically whatever municipality or county that they're hired out to. And I find that a lot of times when you're able to help an inmate learn to read, or help a man get his high school diploma, it gives you a good feeling. That you're able to help somebody regardless of the mistakes that they made, that they have been marginalized, beat down, and put down by society so much that it gives you a good feeling that you made a mistake, but you're doing something right to make up for that mistake. And I try to explain that to my inmates, and a lot of times they understand, and then I continue to tell them, gentlemen, you've accomplished something, but it's constant improvement. Okay? Alright, so a little bit about myself. I've been working with 11 years in the Department of Corrections. The Florida Department of Corrections is a very good agency to work for. It has its days, and there's always the constant possibility of some sort of violence or some sort of violent act that can happen, such as an escape, a murder, a fight. And unfortunately, when you have in that type of living conditions, sometimes it's bound to happen. Okay. All right. So a little bit about my hobbies. Okay. I'm really into bow fishing. I have a couple friends who own airboats, and on the weekends we go out to the lakes and the ponds here near the Tampa area, and we do bow fishing, basically where we track fish, bass, catfish, whatever it may be, and we track it with a bow with a rod and reel on the end of it, and basically, we let loose an arrow and try to catch a fish with a bow and arrow and bring them back in. It's kind of fun, but it's a lot of patience. I also do hog hunting, with some of my coworkers, some of the corrections officers, friends and classification officers, which are probation officers, one of the assistant wardens, and one of the doctors over in the medical department. That's one of our hobbies. Is we like to go hog hunting, and just shooting wild pigs running around in the woods. Okay, something else we like to do is a lot of my friends, the co-workers, the assistant warden, the doctor, the parole probation officers. We're also really into the Warhammer 40,000 role-playing game system, where we take little plastic and metal miniatures, like that, and we say, okay, we're going to move our space marines around on a map here, and we're going to attack this or defend that and shoot laser cannons, and it's kind of fun. It kills a lot of time, and we work together, and we need our releases, and it's kind of fun spending quality time with your coworkers, not as coworkers, but just as people. And you just roll the dice and say, okay, this is what it is. You inflicted this damage, I got this damage. Alright, and a little bit about my education background. I have a dual bachelor's degree at the great and glorious Florida State University. At Florida State University, it was the best 4 years of my life, and sometimes I wish I can go back and relive those 4 years. Okay. Okay, so now let's talk about part 2, my background as a K-12 student. Okay. When I was a student, I really didn't think I was going to end up as an education administrator where I am today. I had dreams of being an auto mechanic, like one of my uncles who I emulated, and unfortunately the man passed away. Then I had dreams of becoming an attorney, and law school just really didn't do it for me. So there was a lot of times when I was, especially in middle school and freshman year in high school, I became easily bored. And when I became bored, I became probably one of my teacher's worst nightmares. And it wasn't intentional, and it wasn't personal. It's just that at that time, I had lots of issues, sadness and issues I had to deal with, and just I got bored and well, needless to say, after high school, things kind of calmed down in high school, and I really found a love for some of my classes, especially social studies classes, English, and science. Math, not as much. However, Mrs. Steinman, who was my senior English teacher, she taught me a lot about essay writing, letter writing, how to express yourself with words, letters, even how to make YouTube presentations, PowerPoint presentations. And on the flip side of it, my geometry and algebra teacher, Coach Jones, who was also one of my football coaches in high school, really took a vested interest in me. And I remember one day I was having a really rough day, and Coach Jones kind of confronted me, and he said, "Boy, what do you want to do with your life?" And I just kind of shrugged, and I said, "Coach, I really don't know." And then he said, "Maybe you might want to consider being a teacher." And I was like, I don't know. But several things that Mrs. Steinman and Coach Jones did instill a sense of discipline in me. And that, one, you must be humble, and you must learn to have humility. Okay? You must have respect for all persons. Treat people as you want to be treated. Give back to something that they took their time to help you. You give back. And that, more importantly, knowing and remembering where you came from to help others. Okay? And it's always been, my goal, been my fantasy, and to go back to Vero Beach High School, when I graduated high school, to become a social studies teacher and a football coach. Maybe in the future. Okay. All right. So let's talk about my degree program here a little bit. Right now, I'm earning my master's in education and ed leadership. What I want to do with that eventually, I want to become an education and a testing supervisor, where basically you can get to travel around to lots of other different prisons who need a GED administrator, or you can help other teachers and education supervisors with issues that they might need, provide assistance, or possibly even become a warden of programs, and work in that way. Some of the reasons why I'm thinking this degree is, one, I'm doing it for personal satisfaction, and I always said to myself, I can do this. And then finally, I just broke down early last year and did my research, and I had several good scholarship offers from Ashford and a couple of schools, and Ashford seemed to be the right fit for me. And one last thing why I'm working on my degree program is because I made a promise to my grandparents of that, hey, yes, I will eventually get my master's degree after I graduated college, and it took a lot of years to do it, but I finally finished getting it done. And I also promised my parents, and my parents have put a lot of vested time and interest in me, and they want me to eventually earn my master's degree and move on up the ladder. Okay. All right. Part 4, quotes, for our favorite quotes, education quotes. A co-worker of mine a couple years back gave me some information here, some sayings, and 2 really stand out. Okay, the first one is Victor Hugo. He was the writer of the novel and later the play Les Miserables. It talks about the French Revolution. And Victor Hugo once quoted, okay, he says here, "He who opens a school door closes a prison." That's pretty powerful. And I think every morning when I'm out there to greet my inmates at the education gate and let them open the door for them and say, "All right, come on guys, come on in, go to class," I'm doing something. I'm kind of closing down the narrow-minded prison thinking that these men subject themselves to and have to endure. Okay, and the last one was Anatole France. He was another French writer. I'm not sure what some of his famous works were, but one thing that does stand out to me is that 9/10 of education is encouragement. So when you encourage an inmate to swallow his pride and then to come into an education program and to learn to attain his GED, that you're encouraging him, and that right there is 90% of the battle. Thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to working and collaborating with everybody. Thank you for your time.